Hey, you guys. So, we are going to talk about the God concept. And I'm going to call it a concept because it really is. It really is. And somebody left a question saying, do I believe in God? Well, I've tried to do this video now about 4 times, and it's hard to get started. But once I get started on this enough, I think I'll be okay. I can keep going. Let's start from when I was pretty young. So, my youngest memory of the God concept was having to go to church. Not very much. I think it was like Mormon church, maybe just a couple times. And then his mom wanted, she was on a quest to find, to find her religion or to find her, whatever it was. And she grew up Mormon. So I have one part of my family is, we can go into that sometime, is, they're literally like early Mormon settlers to Utah. And, yeah, that's a whole other story. But anyway, so, yeah, there's going to Mormon church, and then Christian Science, and then, so this is early. This is like when I was like 7 or 8, Then I started hiding every time Dad would want to gather up the family and go to church. I would hide in the back of this chair. It was like one of those reclining chairs, and the back had this had a piece of what do you call it, like pleather kind of stuff that comes down, and I'd go in there and I could hide behind the chair, and nobody could find me. And it would get late enough, everybody would be looking for me. They wouldn't know where I was. And then I would, I'd come out and be like, I don't want to go to church, I don't like it. I'm a little kid. And it just didn't seem comfortable. It didn't seem, you think of the God concept. I'm a naive little kid, and literally like it wasn't real, And I found out throughout life that's it, that God is, first of all, that's just a word. Absolutely, just a word. Now, the concept and the actuality of something, some consciousness or something that creates form from a formless place is something different to me. So that's very powerful. So there's something formless. There's multiple dimensions. As far as I know, that's even been scientifically proven now. And it's pretty solid that there's other dimensions that can affect you. No doubt about it. I wish that everybody could have what I would call paranormal experiences, where strange things happen, and it's far out enough that something something is affecting my reality, and I'm not insane. Something's happened. Either I'm seeing something, it has come into my, how do I say it, come into my existence, into my place, or talk to me, or something like that, that is out of the normal, out of this world. And if you try to say, oh, it's this, it was demons, or it was God talking to you, or it was, when it comes to, I think a lot of you have probably, I'm not going to say probably, but a lot of you may have listened to the video where I talk about when that voice told me that about Kurt, and that Kurt was going to be murdered and I need to go see him. And I had some other things happen at that same time within the next couple days, where I had these overwhelming feeling of having to believe in myself, and there was something that was giving me this absolutely unexplainable confidence, or I don't know whether it was to make me not doubt, that I needed to see Kurt, and it's so weird. You guys can only imagine, I mean, I didn't even talk about that to anybody except for maybe as time went on, only to a couple people, because I would only think that people would think I was crazy, or I was anyway. And it felt really good to get that whole story out. But anyway, on the whole concept of God, I feel, and now I want to call it the unknown, because it makes the most sense. Because if you say you know what it is, then instantly it's it just doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm just going to call it the unknown, because I don't know what it is, and it exists. I can say that. There's something that exists. To me, I feel, whether it's from influence, from what stories I've heard, from people that have talked about this type of thing, but to me, that's not the case. But I don't know all the influence in all my almost 50 years that would formulate this feeling. But I think that there is some kind of a lasting spirit or something like that of the human. Now this gets into a pretty heavy thing, but I feel like there is something beyond, we'll call it intelligence. I really like that. There is an existing intelligence. That's the best word for it. Instead of saying it's almost like a cumulative intelligence. So in a way, we're all part of this one intelligence, and this intelligence can speak to you, or do other things in your life. It can protect you at times. I mean, I can't help but think, like, you know, I've had some times where I just feel like it's just too weird, you know. What do they call that? Okay, I can't think of it right now. Anyway, when something protects you at the exact time when you need it. I can't think of the name of that. I know some of you are like, oh, you know, you guys, a lot of you guys are more on top of words intellectually than I am. Anyway, so yeah, let's see. Okay, so we have the word. The word God is just a word, and it would never even come close to being a name for whatever that all-encompassing thing is. That is actually, it's more, okay, this gets into very heavy, very deep, you know. So if I call it chaos, I don't want you to take that in all a negative sense, but chaos being, there's things will happen in a chaotic way, and things I can't explain it. You know, it's like trying to explain, you know. I mean, this is how somebody should be, right? When you're trying to explain the God concept, because we shouldn't be able to. There's no way. All I can do is go from what's happened in my life, and I think that in my last video, you know, what's really important is that the closest I've been able to get to something that's from another world, you know, that affects, you can actually affect your life, is really being in the moment, you know, very clear, very, you know, just taking everything in and living that, and, you know, waiting for those synchronicities to fall into place, and waiting, you know, things to happen that will pull you in a direction, you know. I mean, there's just no doubt about it, and it doesn't happen every day. Like today, there was nothing that really, you know, stood out to me. You know, I'm saying that now, but maybe there was, and I just haven't. It just hasn't hit me, you know. So let's see if I can. I think I wrote something down with. Okay, so I'm just gonna read. I'm gonna read this to you. So I wrote this. It's a little bit choppy, but it actually is more. It explains a little bit more what I'm trying to say, and it'll add to what I've already said. First of all, a belief in God really means nothing unless you want to impress upon someone else that you too believe in God. If something was absolutely true, you would not have to believe, because it would already be a fact. Now, the word God is just a word. There should be no fear, no power, not anything behind it. This gets into how the mind seems to hold residual emotions, feelings, and information attached to a word. Then it creates an image based on these things. And with a word like God, there is a lot to carry around. Now, I like to put the word unknown in this place to represent that which is formless, chaos, and disorder, and from this great unknown springs life, form, and an attempted order. It seems to me the human wants to create the ultimate God. This is not imagination anymore. It has now created what we would call a computer God. And as this gets smarter, it will seem flawless. And at one point, it may act like God. Okay, so this is good. So, obviously with artificial intelligence, humans are pretty far along. I mean, after, let's see, I'd say 20 years, 25 years of, computer technology, really, you could go buy a household computer that can go online and can do a lot, and it's progressed to the point of, now creating a computer that is somewhat intelligent. It's not thinking for itself, but when it can think for itself at one point, will it then look like a god to us? It will be, who knows? It may become really powerful really quick, and so humans may be creating their own the God they've always wanted, and it will make life easier in every, that's the whole thing. Humans have wanted things to become easier at every step of life. You look at all the inventions throughout the last 100 years. Everything's made travel quicker, made things easier, over and over again. From the light bulb to the wheel, to the car, to the airplane, and go on and on and on. It's not going to stop. I think that there's that part of humanity that they are obsessed with it. I think a lot of people aren't. A lot of people just want to pretty happy with basically a roof and food and some warmth and friends and family and guitars, drums, books, whatever, it's all right. Why do we have to make something that is, it's fascinating, but it's it's crazy. And every day that computer brain is getting smarter and smarter and smarter. You have the top computer scientists saying that it will be, it will think for itself, and the singularity will happen. So at that point, has man created God? I mean, that's what I think. I think that because you know, some other stuff that I wrote here, you know, okay, this is heavy too, but it's true, you guys. It is, you know, not as much when you're a kid. When you're a kid, you know, it's easier to be happy and curious, and you know, things are exciting more often, right? It's like the just all the memories you have of just being a kid and riding. I mean, just simple things just made you so happy, and things just like, I mean, anyway. So as you get older, all of a sudden a few more sad things happen in your life, or you know, people die, or you know, all of a sudden you see this darkness in the world with war, and you could start questioning everything. Everything looks messed up, you know, and you realize there's something wrong, you know, and there really is a despair and a loneliness and a sadness that we have to live with, and we have to figure out a way to become happier, or you know, or to find joy in life, and to find inspiration, and you know. So the core of the human spirit is not joy. I hope, I don't know if you understand that, but it's not. You know, like those are special sparks, you know, things that's what we want. That's what we want to feel. But you know, there's a pretty heavy sadness. So humans creating things to, it's almost like the artificial intelligence will help us get out of anything that could possibly upset the human condition, right? So anything that'll possibly upset the human condition and make things difficult, or you know, we're going to cure that. We're going to cure that one way or another, and artificial intelligence is going to take care of everything. But that really does seem like the path that's happening. I mean, I would have never, 25 years ago, I would have never imagined that it was really going to happen. And it's still like, it's hard to say, like, depending on where you live, you know, some cities it may be just like, I mean, Tokyo could just be nuts compared to Tacoma. So yeah, see, that's what I was saying. I mean, the whole God concept involves a lot, and the whole duality thing. It's like evil, good, you know. It's all one, you know. In a sense, just the human mind has decided to split things up so much, you know. Like dualities are like that. I think there is a positive and a negative charge, and protons and electrons, and you know, so there is something, and I'm really not that intelligent, you know. I mean, when it comes to that stuff. So, you know, again, if anybody tells you that they know what God is, and this is going to happen, and you better do this and this, be careful. I think that the Bible is a book, and there's incredible wisdom in there. I haven't even begun to understand. Most of the time, it's so alien to me. When I hear something, I'm just like, ugh, what? You know. So, and it's a lot of metaphoric. You know, people want to make things literal when there is a lot of metaphors and things that are not supposed to be taken literal. That's obvious. There's made up people. I believe that. But it's a book, and like the dictionary, you may call me a heathen right now. Most of you probably won't, but you know. But the dictionary and encyclopedias are incredibly important, and there's incredible wisdom and knowledge, and that can affect somebody profoundly. So, yeah, I think the mind should be open. And if you have an open mind to the unknown, and take your experiences that are out of normal serious, you know. I mean, that is when we touch the unknown, you know. Well, we touch the unknown maybe at all times in a sense, but there is something out there. There is some things out there that we obviously don't understand at all. I mean, the whole topic of like aliens and UFOs and that, and I absolutely believe, you know, and I have to say that believing in something like that goes off the topic of the unknown. I don't know why but that's powerful, because I really do. I think that it's as easy as like seeing just other people walking around you in your city, or to me, extraterrestrial is practically part of that. I mean, you could just say that. Anyway, well, thanks for listening to me ramble. Maybe I can keep going. Yeah, I've kind of gone all over the place, so I should probably stop. All right. Well, thanks for listening and commenting and all that. So, all right. Talk to you later. Bye.